Now we can start with the next session. As Jovan already announced, we have with us now Katarina Krnacova. Katarina, are you here?
Hello, yes, I'm here. Hi.
Hello and welcome. We are very glad to have you here with us today. Katarina is a film producer from Bratislava, Slovakia. She is the vice president of the Slovak company Silver Art, and her movies have won numerous awards, including the Crystal Bear at the Berlinale Film Festival. She has worked on preparing the Green Memorandum and Green Manual for Slovak audiovisual industry, and her last feature film, Stand Up, is, as already mentioned, the first Slovak film to strive for green filming. The film crew agreed to follow 10 green commandments, 10 simple rules they defined for the production, which will we now hear from Katarina a little more about.
Thank you very much, and hello everybody. I'm really grateful that I can be here, and it's really great that you're such an event. I think it's very important to talk about it, to share the experience, and to really ask questions and try to find answers together, because we are all together in this thing. And I would be really glad if you would be open to discussion after my presentation. So really feel free to ask anything, and there is no question which is not welcomed. So just be sure to remember them. So I will start my presentation. I will try to share on the screen now. Yes, so do you see it, everyone?
Yes, we do.
Okay, I will try to start with a short clip, since we are talking about film. Okay, so maybe some of you might know, maybe some of you might not, but it's a year of 1979, and a very famous director, Francis Ford Coppola, was shooting a film in Philippines with even more famous Marlon Brando. And this is an opening scene of their film Apocalypse Now. There was no SFX used in this scene. There was a real forest of palm trees burned down. They used 4,500 liters of gasoline to actually make the flames and the fire impressive as it is. And they even added some tires to even make it even better. And now it's year 2022, and I really hope that nothing like this is possible anymore. Also, that's why we are here talking about how we can make the filming greener, more sustainable, and how we can actually protect our planet. Okay, this doesn't work, sorry. Okay. There are many measures you can take when you're talking about sustainable filming. I will just mention very basic number as an example. 100 tons of CO2 is used in an average European film when shooting and preparation. And this number equals to 150 cars to actually CO2, which is produced by 150 cars per year. And when we are talking about US film, you can just count 10 times more. So this is just an example of the numbers which are important to realize. But I'm pretty sure that since you are here, you are well aware of this fact. So it was back in 2019 when I was in pre-production of my film stand-up. And yes, it took us 3 years actually to finish it, and we are just in before the premiere of the film. I was just by a lucky coincidence present at this case study by a Belgian environmentalist, Tim Wagendorp from Belgium Film Fund, who was in Bratislava back then, and he was speaking about their practices and about how they have been for several years already back then trying to implement greener rules in the shooting and to support there was very little talked about back then about green filming in Slovakia, and actually in Europe as well. It's really different now, which I'm very happy about. But I figured like, okay, I can do it just, within my own, I would say, scent place. So why not start with myself and with my own production? I had the advantage that this was my sole production, so I didn't have any other co-producers. It was really advantage for me because I could set up my own rules. I could set up, my own production kind of workflow. Also, we shot only in the cities, not in the remote areas, which also turned out as an advantage. And it was a low budget film with a small crew. So that at the end was all playing in favor. And at the end, we even made to save some money by doing more sustainable solutions in some areas. But how to begin when no one has ever done it in Slovakia before, and where to start? And you all know probably, or I'm pretty sure that you all know how tiring or how exhausting and very demanding and difficult can a shooting be. How much energy and time you have to use, and also that there are certain work habits of the whole crew which are very hard to change, or people are just not, or back then it is changing a bit, but back then it was really sometimes like an Alice in Wonderland feeling when I try to speak to them about it. So I started to realize that I have to be inventive, I have to be creative, and also try to find certain key points how to approach this. I started with the well-known rules of 5 R's, which is refuse all disposable, anything you can, which is not necessary, including paper. Then it's reduce on the set, in the office, which includes catering, transport, and other departments. Reuse all you can, including costumes, props, constructions, or batteries. And recycle, so do recycle not only at home, but also at your work. And rot, let's compose the waste properly. And as the basic idea, which I tried to communicate to my crew throughout the whole production, was the rule voluntary modesty, which I find as a key point to start with. So this was my creative idea to come up with this simple one page, which I kind of as a joke called 10 Green Commandments. And it included rules for 10 different kind of areas of the shooting. I will go through some of them in detail later, so just don't worry if you can't read it all. And it's also in Slovak, so you can't read it anyway. For me, it was very important not to force my crew and not to force people to change their habits, but to make them understand what we are doing and why we are doing it, and to kind of accept it and to identify with it. So also I adapted my language and wording towards this goal. So For example, I didn't use any commands or bans, but I tried to make it feel as a teamwork, which really is a teamwork. So for instance, I didn't say, you cannot drink from plastic bottles or you have to bring your own, but I said, we are all using our own bottles, water bottles on the set to reduce waste of the plastic bottles. So this was the approach I took. And also I wanted to make it kind of like visual, unique. I put it on the set everywhere. I put it in the office. I sent it in the email to all the crew. And of course, before the shooting, I communicated all the rules to the whole crew before, so they would be aware. So one of the rules was, one of the first rules, so what I mentioned, the water bottle. So we are using, everyone actually received a water bottle at the beginning of the shooting. And it said everyone receives their own water bottle, which you can use and fill with tap water during the whole shooting. Also, we are using our own cup of coffee and reduce a lot of unrecyclable waste. The second rule was we reduce and separate. We use portable trash cans for plastic, paper, mixed waste, which nowadays is really common. Again, 3 years ago, not so much. If you are not sure where to put your waste, look at the pictures. And we also reduce small food packages and use larger reusable containers. We are trying also to reduce the paper printing. We do not print scripts, shooting plans, nor daily call sheets. As you can see from the picture, during the break on the set, everyone is using their iPhone for everything, so why not use it for work as well? Catering and cutlery. Whenever possible, we went to eat in restaurants. When we were in a little bit more remote areas, we had kind of like homemade catering like this. Again, this was possible because we had small crew. But of course, there are other solutions in case there will be, in case there is a larger crew. So eat in restaurants whenever possible, only if necessary. We use disposable dishes made of compostable materials, and we take care of the correct waste separation. We shot in cities, so that was a bit easier for us. But of course, also in cities, there are issues like parking issues or driving in the city center. So transports to and from locations were shared by multiple people in the car. It is a huge advantage, mainly in the city because of the parking. So they were even glad at the end. For longer routes, we really prefer trains. And within the city, we prefer public transport or bus. So this is our carpooling team. When we were shooting in different city outside of Bratislava, outside of the main city, we also chose the accommodation close to the set. I've heard part of Giovanni's presentation, so I probably might repeat something which you already heard, but I think it's never, it's never enough of the information, so I will just go on. There were also some creative decisions taken when we were shooting. For instance, I mean, this particular film is a road movie, so it's taking place in like 5 different cities. And we also decided that, in order to save, well, it was also because it was low production budget, but it was also connected to green rules, not to travel that much and not to spend too much time, energy, and gas and everything on travels. We just decided that there will be only very small crew going to all the cities, shooting some exterior scenes, and all the interiors were done in 2 cities altogether. So we pretended we were in different city in interior, but in reality we shot in the same city. So this was creative decision taken during the production, which I was quite happy about. Costumes and props. We use costumes and props from previous shootings or secondhand, mainly rentals, and especially for small characters, we use their own clothes. Here you can just see a few examples from our art department, which was all rented or reused from different shooting and reused again after this shooting. Another big department is lighting and energy. We try to reduce the use of artificial lights as much as possible on the shooting. If necessary, we always try to use local electric connections. If it was not possible because of low energy, or we needed something stronger, it happened not in this film, but it happened in my other film, previous one, that we opened a special, electric, I don't know how it's called, but like we asked our company who delivers electricity to open a special electric box, which was very close by our set. And we stayed there, for 2 weeks, and we used that electricity directly. So I really try to avoid generators. So with this film particularly, we really managed to shoot almost whole film without any external lamps. This is one of the scenes where we, when we came for the location scouting, we saw that there are these small lamps, and we just came and changed the bulbs everywhere to, as strong as possible so we could use them, and we use that. To motivate my crew, I also try to use all kinds of, kind of fun stuff to make it a little bit more entertaining, not to make it feel like it's something they have to oblige by. So for example, we created this challenge: come to the set by public transport or on your own bike, send a photo, and you will be rewarded. We either gave them some sweet reward, or they just received a big applause, which was also very nice. So this was example of our crew. On the left, you can see our costume designer coming to the set every day, and on the right, this was our production assistant, proud to be coming on his bike, and proud to be part of Stand Up and Act Green. Also, as a fun kind of detail on daily sheets, which you can see on the left side, I always put a small green note on the bottom, which was like kind of fun fact, or I would rather say sad fact, but it was connected to the Korean filming, and just to have it as a reminder every day when they receive the daily sheet, just to have it, the idea brought up again, why we are doing it, and what is the bigger reason behind it. Like, for instance, one of the notes was, cigarette filters. It takes 12 years to break down in nature. Yes, please, if you can play the video now. I had to put this slide up because I tend to forget. So I have a short clip from the film shooting, like behind the scenes from this film.
Kamera beží, 1/5, štvrtá klapka.
Yes, so that was the clip. I just had few more slides, so I will just share the presentation again. I'm just not sure. Yes, it should be this one. Yeah. So after the shooting, I just put down some notes, which I'm sharing now with you, which I felt as, you know, kind of winning points and kind of challenges which I found during the shooting. From the winning points or wins of the green production was definitely trying to be green or being greener. Definitely interesting and aware partners. I managed to get some product placement or some partnerships with companies which are sustainable companies or which support sustainable approach, which are really in favor of environmental issues and are aware of it. So that was very interesting. Also, some of the solutions we took really saved money. So that's definitely a win-win. And also I gained an interesting amount of media interest for that, that we were like the first Slovak film to be trying to be shot green. And nowadays I feel that the media interest could be even higher. For the challenges, definitely I see challenge with foreign co-productions. There are still more and more companies, of course, who try to go greener. But at the same time, I do find it a bit complications still to find the good or the ideal partner for co-productions with whom we would share, you know, the same feeling, or with whom we would both feel that how strongly important it is for us to go with the greener solutions. So of course the challenges was the crew, their comfort, the difficulties of the shooting in different conditions or locations, short-term work relations as well, because of course from film to film, you sometimes are lucky to go with the same people you are happy to work with, but of course because everyone is busy and they have other projects, sometimes you change totally your whole crew and you have to kind of start again. By communicating with them, and again this feeling of being Alice in Wonderland, but that's all the more important it is to talk about it and to actually as many producers join this kind of initiative, and as many producers try to be green on their productions, the easier it is actually for each of us. Also, lack of green suppliers, that was a huge problem in Slovakia. It's getting better. I have to say that in those last 3 years since this shooting, it has gone up to really much better situation. Still in like the key areas, like someone mentioned, I remember before my presentation about, let's say, the battery electric generators or hybrid cars. We have hybrid cars, but with the generators or some lights, which are more ecological, it is still a problem. But of course, sometimes with co-productions, it actually opens up doors to use, you know, equipment from other countries. And also green coordinator in prep and on the set, that was something which I really found very important, because since, I mean, this production was a small production, so I could do it kind of by myself. Beside being also producer of the film, but with bigger production, it's really inevitable to have a person who is actually involved from the very beginning of preparation until the very end of the post-production, because the person needs to be responsible or involved in, you know, the solutions we take when we are preparing the film. He needs to be in executive of the solution, so he needs to control how it is actually being executed, and if there is a problem, he needs to be fixing them during the production, and then of course after, he needs to evaluate, he needs to, you know, kind of summarize it up, not only for the fans if there are any fan incentives, but also in order to make the second production better or more effective. Since then, I cooperated with our Slovak Film Commission, which is actually a different body than Slovak Audiovisual Fund, which is funding the films. So Slovak Film Commission, they are involved in this green initiative quite a lot. They are a part of Green Screen Project, which is like a European kind of initiative where we have been taking like common discussion panels and sharing experiences together, and also we are working within the Green Screen Project on this Eureka carbon calculator now. So with the Slovak Film Commission, I prepared the Green Memorandum, which was like a simple 2-page paper where we set our main priorities. It was signed by many Slovak filmmakers. But then we developed this Green Manual, which is like a 40 pages document, something similar to what you mentioned before that you have in Serbia. So it's really 40 pages document where we describe every department or every part of preparation in the office or production shooting on the set and post-production. And we try to give and to offer our producers and our filmmakers different kind of solutions also for different kind of productions, because as was said before, there is really, every production is different. And it's, you know, we even have there like a list of, okay, this would be the ideal solution. If you cannot do this, then try to do this. If you can even do this, then try to do at least this. So we always try to have like 2 to 3, plan A, the ideal, plan B, plan C. So, you know, to give also other options to the producer, or not to also discourage them that if you cannot, you know, like for example, if we are shooting in remote areas, of course, we probably cannot use local electricity if we are shooting in some forest somewhere. But then you can take the generator, which is run on batteries. If you cannot take the generator run on the batteries, then you have to find another solution. So, you know, there are other, there are many aspects in this. So with Green Screen Project, yes, was working on this Eureka carbon calculator, which should be effective to all the countries in Europe, but it's quite hard now to implement it like from technical part. But I think they're in the final stage of doing this. It's still not like open to public, but we can send it to try to use it for someone if someone would like to try it for their productions. And with Slovak Audiovisual Fund, this is a big topic. We have been trying to discussing and talking with them for, you know, three years already. We managed to persuade them to put it as a priority for last year and for this year as well, which is, of course, last year it was more of a thing said on the paper, because of course with the pandemic that really didn't help with with this issue, and it was other things they had to deal with. But this year we managed actually to put their 2 concrete things in their structure for this year support. And one is supporting trainings of these enviro consultants and eco managers. So there will be trainings for people who want to take up this position and to educate themselves in this and to work like that on the productions. And then also they even put it into evaluation process criteria when you apply for production funding in our fund. One of the priorities is to really support ecological productions, or the production which try to go ecological. Yeah, with our film being the first Slovak film trying to be green, I got the inspiration from, you know, more experienced colleagues from abroad. Since 2019, there were only 2 other productions in Slovakia done in green way, which I find very little. I'm pretty sure that it was also caused by the pandemic times, which was very hard for everyone to deal with. But we just, you know, keep on trying, and we're trying now to kind of revolve the topic again. And I'm really happy that, you know, European fundings like Creative Europe or Eurimage have already put it in their criteria, which is really great. I just applied for the new creative media call last summer, which is like the new one for the next 5 or 7 years. And it's like one of the main parts of the application, which you have to include there. Besides gender equality, is also this green shooting. So I think it's very important from to kind of create a demand also from the funds. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what else, and I think, sorry. Yeah, oh yeah, for the last, yeah, this is the last, sorry, this is the last slide. I just wanted to finish the presentation with few kind of encouraging words for you, addressed directly, not only for you, but like for everyone who want to try to go greener. So definitely be courageous, try to find, new ways, or don't get intimidated by some refusals. Take it step by step. This is something which I find very important, not to get intimidated by the whole, overall amount of all the rules or of everything which can be done, but take it step by step at what you can do now, tomorrow, the next day, the next week with your next production, and just really take it slowly in these terms. I think that's very important because every step counts. That's definitely that. Yeah, rely on your critical thinking, which connects to the last point, is that go deeper into all information you receive and beware of the greenwashing, because definitely now the whole ecological approach and movement is full of selling, which really results in greenwashing a lot of times. So thank you very much for your attention, and please feel free to ask any questions if you have.
Thank you, Katarina, for your very inspiring presentation, and also it is very motivated for us to see how you started with the thinking and implementing the green transition processes in your projects, and also how you contribute to the developing or implementing the topic in the film commission, and after in a film funds. For us, from the perspective of production processes, it is very important to understand this framework of budget and how it is, what are the impacts on the budget, and do we have incentives for the first steps, or we can do it without it at the beginning and do kind of bottom-up advocacy in a sense of policy implementation. So do we have questions from the audience? This was very inspiring for us to see how on a projects, Katarina mentioned several times, small project, but for us still it is interesting to see what are the possibilities in the context which are pretty similar to ours at the moment, without complete infrastructure options that we can use. So do we have questions? Ognjen?
Hello, Ognjen, producer from Macedonia, the next speaker. What is the real support from the Slovakian Film Fund regarding the Green Memorandum that you signed? Is it supporting with the money, or is it logistical? Whatever it is, the real support that the Slovakian Film Fund will give to the next eco-friendly film productions?
Yeah, thank you for the question, because this is a big topic. This is a big topic. We have been talking to them for really many years, as I mentioned, and it's really a slow process, I have to say. But also I have to say that they have a positive approach. They do support green filming. It's just that it's very hard for all of us to find the concrete means how to support it. Because also they don't want to have it misused by the producers, to have it, as I mentioned, the greenwashing. This is something which is a big threat. So there are many ways, I think that there are several ways how, different European funds are supporting their producers. But our fund started with really supporting the training of the eco-consultants, because there is a plan that this eco-consultant will later be the one responsible for planning and also evaluating how strong the ecological aspect was of the film production. So first, they want to train the eco-consultants. Already now, this year, when you would apply for production in Slovakia, you can ask for specific funding only for the fee of the eco-consultant already. So there is a small support already, like for the fee, you can apply. They're training the eco-consultants, and also they put it as a priority when they're evaluating projects. So the committee, when they are evaluating projects, they should prioritize those projects which try to be greener. We haven't, the fund haven't yet decided upon the common rules, how to evaluate then the project, if it was really green or it was not green. So this is still an ongoing discussion with us, the producers, also with environmentalists, to find a certain way how to do this. I've heard from Giovanni before that they have already certification. We are not there yet at all. So we will see whether we will try to kind of, join forces with some other country and to share maybe certification, maybe with Czech Republic, because we tend to cooperate and co-produce with Czech Republic the most. So this could be the way how we could do it, like to find some common certification of that. But it's, it's starting. So this year there are first practical steps in supporting the eco-consultants, their fee, and then during the evaluation, the projects to prioritize them.
And I have one more question related to the budget issues. Do you recognize under your first project, is it something that you have to budgeting like additional expenses for the green parts of the project? And is it something that we need to talk when we talk about the funds and incentives in the future?
Well, definitely. I mean, there are some costs which will be above the budget if you really want to go full green or strongly green. But at the same time, I also do believe that when you dedicate enough time and energy and focus in preparation, that you can find solutions which some of them could be more expensive, but then another set of them could be less expensive and cheaper. And at the end, it might not be that more expensive as it seems at the beginning. So I will just say an example, like with the transport. I mean, car sharing, carpooling, it is at the end cheaper because you are not renting that many cars, you are not renting that many drivers. Also, we have this great habit here in Slovakia, I don't know if you have it in Serbia, that we are driving actors and actresses on the set from their door where they live to the set or to the hotel, like all the time, everywhere. Even if it's like 2 hours or 3 hours, 4 hours driving, they are super busy. So they're always coming back and forth. And we're just, I have just several drivers dedicated only to, driving, or I used to have only to driving actresses and actors. And these can take a really lot of money and energy. And of course, it's not sustainable at all. So what I tried with the stand-up as well, to talk to the actors and actresses to offer them comfortable trains and to offer them, this kind of like I would, pay for a taxi in the city to where they live. So they would come to the train station, then we would buy the train tickets, and then we would pick them up from the train stations. And it worked in, like, I would say at the end in 50%, but 50% would still be, but it's a process, So I still think that at the end, if more producers would try to do this with their actors, we have a chance to change the habit. So these kind of solutions are definitely cheaper at the end for the production. But then, of course, if you are talking about some special construction materials, which are definitely more expensive than regular ones. If we are talking about, let's say, about lighting equipment, which is maybe more expensive than the old ones, with the old lamps, right? Or the generator, which you would have to take, if it's run on batteries, you would have to take from abroad, it's more expensive. But at the end, if you are really choosing smart decisions and you have enough time to do it before you start shooting, you might really find it not as much expensive as it is perceived. But definitely, I do find it very important to support it with incentives and with financial, support from the fund as well. So this is a big topic when we're discussing with the fund, definitely.
Yeah, you mentioned in one moment that, and it is something that also Giovanni and Luca mentioned, that every production is specific in its own way and different in the other. So is it a responsibility of eco-consultant to make a study in a budget sense, or it is someone who is eco-manager on the set? Is it someone who is doing developing phase of the project from the perspective of Film Fund, and that you are now in Slovakia are working with the film consultants?
Mm-hmm.
What are their responsibilities?
Yeah. Well, that's, I think that really differs from country to country and how you understand the word and how it is actually in reality, because also when you take like a production assistant in a small production, they have totally different responsibilities than when you're talking about 300 people on the set, and the production assistant has different kind of responsibility. So also if we are talking about eco consultants and eco managers, that's I can imagine that at the end it's also depending on how big budget of the production it is, how many people there are on the set, and how difficult the solutions need to be. I think that in like a regular production, it's enough to have like one person on the set, but he should be responsible for the whole process. And then if it's too much, then you can hire two people. One would be responsible for setting the rules, the other for executing or for evaluating. But it's definitely very connected. So it doesn't really make sense to have a person only on the set responsible for the executing if he was not involved in finding the solution actually before, and in preparation, and actually setting up the whole green concept of the production. And then also that same person should be there on the set executing it, and then later evaluating it, because it's all connected to each other. So, and if you are asking also how our fund is approaching it or how they see it, I would say that they are not very strict about it. Like they haven't set any rules, like these eco consultants should have this and these responsibilities. They are mostly, I think what is very important for them is that that person would be able to evaluate the impact of the production. So, and they can collect also data from the production, so they can see at the end how effective and how successful the production was in terms of green filming, So I think this is very important for them. But then for the producer, also there are other things important.
Yeah, thank you. I'm asking that because we are from Green Art Incubator, thinking about and planning training for the green supervisor, because it starts to be more and more present in our firstly service productions, but also it will be something that will be necessary in our local productions also. So that's why I was asking what is difference between these notions. So do we have any other questions? Okay, thank you, Katarina.